Hey guys, so I just want to talk to you a little bit about this movie. I just watched it the other day. Wow, freaking incredible. One of the best animated films I've ever seen in my freaking life. And being a Spider-Man movie, hands down one of the best Spider-Man movies I've ever seen, ever. Insanely good. The animation won an Oscar, and I can see why. It was almost 3D in some points in this film. Okay, so I saw the trailer when it was released last year, and I said to myself, I'm going to catch this one at the movies because it looks insanely good. That first trailer blew me away. I didn't get to the movies to see it. I don't know what happened. I didn't make it. All my friends who went were like, have you seen it yet? I'm like, not yet. They're like, what is wrong with you? Go and see this movie. I said, I will, I promise. I'll go watch it. I'll check it out. I didn't get to see it on the big screen, so I am really sad about that because this movie would have looked freaking incredible on the big screen. The animation in this thing is just, it's the best I've ever seen. The way they did it, like in the 4K, in the HDR, good God, did this movie look pretty. And what I loved is when the comics were printed in the old days, right, it would have the little dots as part of the print. And that was in the animation. They actually had that in the animation on the screen. I thought initially there was something wrong with the transfer. I thought, why are there weird dots? But then I kind of realized that's part of the animation style. It's comic book. It was comic book come to life, and it was friggin' insanely good. Plot, and I'm going to read this directly from the Internet Movie Database because that's my jam. Team Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man of his reality, crossing his path with 5 counterparts from other dimensions to stop a threat for all realities. And that's the basic plot. So we get Spider-Man from all these different universes coming together, having adventures. And it was really, really cool because the world is going to end if they get all these merging universes into one. It's a big mess, thanks to the Kingpin, who's trying to, like, save the life of his wife and child. No spoilers, but the Kingpin kind of instigated this whole thing, and all these different Spider-Men are crossing paths. And it was really cool. We got Peter Parker from the original Peter Parker, who is in it at the beginning, and then we got an older Peter Parker, we got Penny Parker, we got Gwen Stacy, we got Noah, Spider-Man, and Spider-Ham. So the whole crew are together, and Miles Morales is the star of the show, and it is beautifully done. Directed by Bob Persichetti, Peter Ramsey, and Rodney Rothman. Starring the amazing voice talents of Shamik Moore as Miles Morales, Jake Johnson as Peter B. Parker, Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy, Mahershala Ali as Uncle Aaron. So cool to see him here. Mahershala Ali is one of my favorite actors. Brian T. Henry as Jefferson Davis. Lily Tomlin as Aunt May. I didn't pick that. Luna Lauren Velez as Rhea Morales. Zoe Kravitz as Mary Jane. And then we got John Mulaney as Spider-Ham. Kimiko Glenn as Penny Parker. Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir. Catherine Hahn, Liv Schreiber as Wilson Fisk, Chris Pine as Peter Parker, and I'm going to stop there. Oh, Oscar Isaac, he was credited as an interesting person, #1. Stan Lee was in here too. Oh, geez. It was such a love letter to Spider-Man. Written by Phil Lord and Rodney Rothman. Phil Lord has done the Lego movie, 21, 22 Jump Street. So the movie itself was so good. Like, it was a pretty good story, right? So Miles Morales, young kid, gets bitten by the radioactive spider. The real Spider-Man is dead. It's not a spoiler, it's in the comics. Spider-Man dies, and Miles Morales kind of steps up, takes over the mantle, and it's just a lot of fun. So he's kind of like learning the ropes, learning who he is, and embracing his new abilities, and so that he can become Spider-Man. And holy Jesus, I fell in love with this film. The music, the soundtrack is incredible as well, and all the animation, the voice talent, the writing, the story, everything about this movie was insane, and I'm hoping to God we get more of it because shit, what's not to love? It was freaking incredible. I want more. I don't know if Sony's going to do more. I mean, Sony does still own the rights to Spider-Man. They're sharing them with Marvel. Marvel's doing Spider-Man in their universe as well. And I think Sony's kind of concentrating on the villain side of the thing. We just had Venom with Tom Hardy, which is good. It wasn't great. It was okay. Great cast. But having these villain movies without Spider-Man doesn't sit right with me. It's not right. Spider-Man is the glue that holds these universes together. So if Sony want to keep making Spider-Man movies, this is the way that you now do it from now on. Take 3 or 5 years, whatever it takes to do it. But this is how you do Spider-Man movies from now on, Sony. In this. The 4K, oh my lord. Like I said, the 4K HDR version of this film is sensational. It was almost 3D. Like, some of the scenes, you look like you got depth. The depth was so good. You're looking past the characters, and it just was gorgeous. And the colors and the vibrancy of everything in this movie, it made my eyes melt. In a good way, not in a bad way. Having your eyes melt in a bad way is not good, but having your eyes melt in a good way where they're enjoying what they're seeing, that's a top way to have your eyes melted. I don't know. I'm praising it. I'm going to give it a 10. 10. Here's a logo. 10. Beautiful film, and I loved it, and I want to see more. And if you haven't picked it up on 4K and you got 4K and this film's not in your collection, go get it. I promise you, you'll be like super stoked. Anyway, guys, that's my mini review on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Have you seen it? What do you think? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Watch some other stuff. Catch you in the next one. Bye.